Yeah, no, so I was down there, and like, I have to travel to say all this bullshit, on the road a lot, which seems, the shows are fun, but being on the road, it's lonely, it sucks, and so in different towns, I usually try to find like a little museum or something to go do. Otherwise, I'll just kill myself in the hotel room with peanut M&Ms, most likely. Like a mini bar, just suffocating on peanut M&Ms. So I was down in South Carolina, and I had some time to kill, among other things, obviously. And so I was like, well, I'll go learn something, right? But it's South Carolina, not a very learned place. So there was no interesting museum. So what I ended up doing is I went on a $15 walking tour of, let's just call it a house built under questionable circumstances. It was a slave owner's house. And then you go in, and they're like, he owned the most slaves. And I'm like, don't say it like that. Why? Don't use that tone in describing it. It was a guy that owned like all of these fucking slaves, but then it was just like a house downtown. It wasn't like a farm. There was like nothing for them to do even. And it's like, that's gotta be the worst guy to be during slavery. Is the guy that's just like, I just like collecting them. They're like Pokemon to me, basically. I'll stack them up, I'll feed them stuff, see if they evolve, and then me and my friends fight them. We fight them together to make them stronger. I don't know, it's crazy. That guy was probably just autistic, right? That's like, because they didn't have like Funko Pops in 1820. If you had autism in the South in 1820, you were like, I have the most slaves. I have all of the slaves now in my house. They're like, yeah, Jeremy's been struggling in school, but we got him slaves. And he's happy with his slaves. So right. But yeah, no, that tour, the wildest thing happened on that tour, and I want to tell you guys about it because it kind of blew my mind, because it was a tour group. I was with other people, and I was the only one that like reacted viscerally to this bizarre thing that happened on the tour. Because we're doing the tour, and the tour guide, first of all, like, it was Paula Deen. It was Paula Deen. I wasn't like, hey, that looks like, it was Paula Deen. That's where she wound up after she got canceled. Is tour guide at the slave owner's house, which was an unfair cancellation, by the way. I should let you know that. I'm a Paula Deen truther. That was the only one I didn't agree with. She got hemmed up on bullshit. Because I don't know if you remember. You remember what she got canceled for? She got canceled for saying the N-word, which, hey, yeah, don't do that, right? That's bad. But the context is important because, well, here's why. Because, I'll explain. Because she didn't get caught saying the N-word, right? It wasn't like she was on a hot mic on her show being like, hey, y'all want to hear something funny? It wasn't like that. Here comes my favorite word. It wasn't, that's not a... No, it was during like a deposition. It was like a legal fucking bullshit thing, right? And a lawyer asked her, and she has to tell the truth. The lawyer said, have you ever said the N-word? And what Paula Deen said was, yes, I said the N-word one time 40 years ago. Which has got to be the record. That's the record. That is the record for least N-word said by someone with that accent, by a lady that sounds like that. One time. You remember the first time you heard Paula Deen? She's like, hey, y'all, we're cooking. You're like, fuck, hopefully food. She's the most racist lady I've ever heard in my life. Get in here. They got a racist on the Food Network now. She's just making her chef hat a little bit pointier. She's like, what if it was just a little... I know it's supposed to be poofy, but just a little, just a point, I'm not gonna do the eyes, just the point. I just want the point part of it. You think she's probably not even the worst chef, honestly. I mean, honestly, think about it. Who do you think uses the N-word more? Both hard R and soft A inclusive, Paula Deen or Guy Fieri? Who? Which one? Which one? Which one? You know, as soon as those cameras stop rolling, you know they probably have to edit it out a lot. You know he's had like a fucking like triple bacon heart attack breakfast burrito and taken a bite and just been like, boo. That's a breakfast burrito right there. That is a fucking... They're like, yeah, Guy, you did it again. You fucking... I know it was a soft A, but you probably, I mean... It's the travel channel. I don't know. We're already in a lot of hot water with Paula Deen. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, so she's a tour guide at this slave owner's house now. And no, it was wild. It was crazy. I was doing this tour, and you're doing the tour, and maybe I'm spacey or something. I just kind of forgot that it was a slave owner's house because they don't really talk about it because it's South Carolina, so they're like, we still kind of think it was good. You know, they don't... Honestly, it was mostly, they're like, this is heart pine. That's what the banister's made out of. And you're like, oh, wow, okay. It was like a Fuddruckers from the 1800s. It's like commemorative plates on the wall and shit. So they don't really talk about the slavery thing until you get to the third floor of the house. And you get to the third floor of the house, and there is a dramatic tonal shift. And the tour guide, she starts getting quiet, right? She starts lowering her voice. And at the time, I thought she was getting quiet due to the emotional severity of what we were looking at. Because when you get up to the third floor, there's nothing on that floor except for this glass display case. And in the glass display case, they have these collars that have numbers on them that the slaves were forced to wear. And everybody's familiar with the history of slavery. But when you see physical evidence of it up close, it's like a very moving experience. You know, you start to cry, you get goosebumps. It's powerful to watch or witness, I guess. And like I said, the tour guide, she's getting quieter and quieter. And she says, and these were the collars that were put on the men and women that were forced to work in this house. And on this floor, we have to keep our voices down because upstairs is the great-great-grandson of the man that built the house. And I'm there with like 5 other people, and they're like, wow. And I'm like, can I have my $15 fucking back? Are you kidding me? What do you mean he's upstairs sleeping at 3 p.m.? Wake his ass up, get him down here, let's beat him to death with his shoes. That's fucking wild. That's like if you went to Auschwitz and they were like, that's where the trains pulled in, and you see that little duplex over by the gift shop? That's old Billy Hitler's place. Yeah. Can you believe that? Sort of an Auschwitz miracle. They kept it in the Hitler family the whole time. Made through thick and thin. It's a Hitler property. Anyway, so I guess it's good all those people died of COVID, probably.